Hey y'all. So I'm sitting here reading Galatians chapter 2, verse 11, and I'm on down, and it talks about how Paul visited Peter, and Peter was eating around with the Gentiles, hanging out with them, conversation with them. But then when Jacob came, Jesus' brother came, Jacob, James, when he came and his friends came, Peter would just isolate himself from the Gentiles. He didn't want to eat with them, talk with them, because he feared what would James' Jewish friends say, what would they have to say about it. Because the Jews and Gentile, they did not mix, they did not go together. So but thank God for Jesus. But so this happens, and so not only did Peter do this, but it affected the people around him that followed Peter and that looked up to Peter, right? And so people start following Peter's pattern. They didn't want to talk to the Gentiles no more. They didn't want to hang out with him. And so Paul, being the dude he is, he went and confronted Peter about it. And was like, this is wrong what you're doing, because Paul was just that dude. But listening to that, it taught me something, and I felt the Holy Spirit is highlighting something on people that have influence in people's life. Right, because we know influence is very important. Because what you say, people take it, especially with pastors and teachers, because people take it and apply it to their life. And it comes a time, Paul talks about when I'm a child, I did childish things. As I grow up, I throw away childish things. Right? It comes a time where we have to take on that accountability and be responsible, to be like, to the point we be like that the stuff that we used to do, we can't do that no more, because you have people of your sphere of influence. You have people looking at you, watching you. You never know who's watching you and who's seeing what you do, and they taking that on and they living by it. And we don't want to cause nobody to sin. God says he'd rather you tie a millstone around your neck, go down the ocean, than to call one of his kids to sin, right? And so I just want to talk to the people that have sphere of influence, right? But not only in kingdom, but life in general, because people are watching you. They're taking the words that you say, they're taking what you're doing, and they start doing it. It's just like a child. It's just like you having spiritual children. It's just like a child watching the parents. And sometimes, and people wonder why, well, why are the children discussing? Well, they heard it somewhere, either if it was the parents, if it was the cousin, or it was on a TV show or a movie. That's why we have to be careful what we let our kids watch and take in, and what we let them be around, or even grown-ups conversation. My mama, she never let us really be around grown-ups conversation. She always, but still, it's a point of influence. What we're taking in, and what we're letting our kids take in. So it's just us in general, as being called to teach, or called to be an influence in somebody's life, or giving them a word, because people take this and they apply it to their life, right? So listening to what Paul tell Peter, we have to be careful of what you do and what you put out, even on social media, because people are taking that, right? And if they look up to you, they taking it, they applying it, they live by it. Like I tell people, you might be the only Jesus people see, right? How are you portraying him? How are you acting? Are you acting like the bride? Are you talking like his bride? Are you representing him? How are you representing him? How are you acting? How are you dressing when you go out? Because people are watching. Yes, and listen, God is not asking us to be perfect. He know we're not perfect. He know that from the beginning. Okay, before you was ever created, made it, he know that you was not going to be perfect. He's not asking you to be perfect. But like Paul said, is this a time that as we grow up and mature, we throw away childish things, right? So I'm just it was just a word. I feel like the Holy Spirit wanted me to share that we have to come to step into a point of maturity and accountability, right? To throw away those childish things. There's some things that we just can't do anymore, or sometimes we just can't portray out here, portray on social media and stuff like that. Especially when we have a sphere of influence and people are listening and following us. And it's not a thing of being fake. It's a thing of being real and showing maturity and growth. So I just want to encourage y'all to, as you mature and grow, to just live by what you're teaching. You don't want to never cause nobody to sin or somebody to fall. And no, we're not perfect. And it's not saying that you won't fail sometimes. Yes, we all fail, we all mess up. That's why we thank God for grace. Okay, his grace is sufficient for us. But let's try to live by what we're teaching and what we're reading and what we're studying. And also, let's be aware of what we're putting out, because we never know who's looking and who's applying it to their life. Because we don't want to do what Peter did, but just by him doing it to the Gentiles, he had a whole group of people following him because they looked up to him and to where he's at in his leadership, right? So let's be aware. Love y'all. Bye.